Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Shockwave here, and today we're going to be doing a review of the brand new Tier 9 Pan-Asian Battleship, the Sun Yat-Sen. She was recently released. She is currently on sale in the armory um, for either 19,300 doubloons as a normal ship, or you can get her in an Admiral bundle with a 10-point commander, port slot, and the following bonuses for 35,450 doubloons. However, I already have the ship. She was given to me through the Super Test program, so I have access to her. But I can always say that much. Now I might sound a bit quiet today, and that's because I do have a bit of a cold, a bit of a sore throat. But notwithstanding, I think I'll be okay. So, anyways, here we are, Sun Yat-Sen. Um, she is very obviously a Soyuz hull. Uh, Now, before I go into any details about the ship, I'm just going to go over my commander and my equipment really quickly. So I have her set up with main armaments, Damacon, aiming systems, propulsion, concealment, and main battery modification 3. Now, I'll unfortunately only have a 14-point commander on her, but she should have. I wouldn't say gunfeeder is absolutely necessary because the reload is already really quick. Um, but I would say that the consumable cooldown for Damacon and repair party is important for this. Grease the gears, obviously. I do suggest you can also take Brisk instead because you also have a very fast charge reverse. I just take it as a habit. Adrenaline Rush, these three skills. At the bottom, you have Emergency Repair Expert, Concealment Expert, Fire Prevention, and I also suggest you take the Improved Repair Party Readiness skill. You can also take Basics of Survivability if you're struggling with fires and floods. So, anyways, that's the basic ship. You also have your consumables, basic standard battleship consumables. You have your damage control party and your repair party, and you also have access to defensive anti-aircraft fire. So let's start on her talking points. So Sun Yat-Sen is a Soyuz type battleship. As you can very clearly see that she has that Soyuz, that Russian hull, which she has the name here, Sun Yat-Sen. So if we take a look at her armor, she has basically Sovietsky Soyuz armor. That means a very large amount of angled armor plating, and she also has relatively good side armor to bounce incoming battleship shots. She also has a 60mm deck and upper belt, and her turrets are also very well armored. As you can see, that she has a 550mm turret face, 250mm turret sides, and a 508mm back, along with a relatively small superstructure that makes it somewhat difficult to farm. However, she also has a couple of weaknesses, as you can quite clearly see here. The nose is only 32mm. What that means is that you can get overmatched by something like Yamato, Shikishima, Incomparable, Satsuma, so on, and you will eat damage there. Because unlike the Kremlin, you can see that the icebreaker does not extend all the way past the nose. However, it does sit a fair bit higher than the Kremlin's, not to the extent that the Friedrich Grosser's does, but still sits a fair bit high over the water, and it's very good at protecting the ships when it needs the ship's internals in this area. You also have several internal armor plates inside that prevent you from getting nose citadels. However, if you were to take a look at her citadel location, you can see that her citadel is unfortunately quite well over the waterline. It is spaced. As you can see, it is somewhat spaced. There's a little bit of armor gap there. There's a gap in the armor, which means not everything will be able to citadel her. However, if you have enough penetration, that torpedo bulkhead is only 20mm, and the citadel is very, very large. So it's very easy to hit with both armor-piercing shells and armor-piercing dive bombers. Her deck is only 50 millimeters as well, which means it won't be stopping much of anything, unfortunately. But she does have very well protected turrets. Her barbette armor is 425 millimeters, so her turrets are very difficult to take out. Another weakness, of course, battleship caliber high explosive, but that's kind of a given. But more importantly, you can see the sort of flat area on her stern here, and what that means is that she can eat citadels, say this area right here, roughly. Well, not citadels, just a lot of damage. She can eat a lot of penetration damage through this flat section here, and this flat section here from armor piercing. And her stern is also entirely 32 millimeters, so that's also another weak point to account for. So overall, she has a very strong armor scheme. It is a Sovietsky-Soyuz armor scheme. It does have some weaknesses, but otherwise it is fairly solid. So next we're going to talk about her armaments. She is the third Tier 9 battleship armed with 18-inch guns, the first being Musashi, and the second being the Georgia. Now the Georgia and the Musashi both have relatively slow-ish shells. Sun Yat-Sen has Kremlin guns, which means that you have very fast shells, 800 meters per second, but low air drag, which means that you will hit your targets quite reliably if you aim correctly. In addition, you also have, as you can see, battlecruiser dispersion. What that means is you are also fairly accurate, along with 1.9 Sigma. She essentially has the same dispersion as the Georgia does. She also has relatively good per alpha hit. She has 13,800 alpha per shell, which is not the highest at Tier 9. There are higher. Iowa 13,500, Musashi is 14,800, and then you have Georgia at 15,750. But it's not really too much of an issue because you're still going to do roughly 4.3k damage per hit if you do full penetrations. In addition, you also have relatively consistent penetration across all ranges, and more importantly, you also have very fast turret traverse, which means you can flip your guns around from side to side quickly if you need to. However, she does also have some weaknesses. She does tend to over-penetrate targets quite frequently, and she also has 6-gun syndrome, as you can see, much like Georgia and Gneisenau, and Gneisenau, the template for the 6-gun meme. She has that weakness, but it's not too much of an issue, I think, because you do reload very quickly, and your dispersion compensates for it accordingly. However, because you do have such large caliber guns, and because your shells are so quick, you do tend to over-penetrate on very thinly armored cruisers, like, say, a Seattle or for Worcester, for example. Your firing angles are also not that good forward. Let me just check what it was really quickly. Let's see. Let me just check really quickly. Well, actually, I stand corrected. You do have very good firing angles on all your turrets. You have 28-degree firing angles going forward, and you have 28 degrees firing backwards. So your firing angles are very good. So I just needed to check. That wasn't entirely sure. However, even with the firing angles, you do also have to keep in mind that this box still exists at the back. The main issues, of course, is just being over penetrations. But I think the main issue, besides the low gun counts and over penetration issues, of course, is secondary power. She only has 6 secondary barrels per side. The low hitting power, relatively mediocre DPM. You can use them to set fires, but you're not going to get too much use out of these, I believe. For anti-aircraft defense is kind of mediocre. I'll just ignore the airstrikes because they're unified across all ships, so they're good now, I guess. I don't know if Wargaming will change that. So she does have really good medium-range DPS. She has 431 DPS out to 4 kilometers, but the problem is you have that 75% hit multiplier, and you also have really poor and long-range anti-aircraft, only 85 DPS from those twin 152mm guns, and you also have low flak count that doesn't do a lot of damage. So your AA defense is only decent at best. You do have defensive anti-aircraft fire to temporarily boost your AA for up to 40 seconds, but it doesn't really provide too much additional protection because your flak is so poor. She's relatively quick. She has a top speed of 29.4 knots, but she unfortunately has a very large turning radius. She does have good engine power, which lets her get up off the ground relatively quickly, but otherwise your turning radius is going to keep you moving relatively slowly, especially if you're actively maneuvering a lot. Her rudder shift time of 14.9 seconds is on the better end for Tier 9 battleships, but it's not going to win you any prizes. And finally, for her concealment, her surface concealment is 13.5 kilometers minimized, which is kind of on the higher end for Tier 9 battleships. I think it's probably one of the worst ones. I think the only one that's worse than it is probably a Zuma or something. I need to check that, but I am fairly certain that is the case. All the other Tier 9 battleships are under 13.5, around anywhere between 12 kilometers to 13 kilometers. So this is definitely a bit of an outlier. Anyways, that's enough of me talking. Let's go into a game now with the Sun Yat-Sen. So while we're waiting, I thought I'd talk about where I've been for the past few weeks, a couple months. I have been working quite a lot on making sure that my school grades are up. Obviously, I am a student. And more importantly, I have also been working on my health. I've been quite sick recently, so I've been taking a bit of a break, just trying to keep myself from getting hurt. So it seems like we got a pretty good game. We got a top tier match on the neighbors map. We have 2 destroyers, 1 submarine. We have a bunch of cruisers. This is a 5 cruiser match, and we have 4 battleships per site. That's my these are my clanmates, Abdon and Vader, and one Nahal from the PN family. Very nice to see them, as usual. So just looking at So, as far as I can see, this matchmaking is actually fairly favorable. The only real threat that I have is Georgia, obviously, because he can just run me down. I'm not very fast. The cruisers are going to be very easy to deal with, and they also have a submarine. Something I did want to
awaiting instructions.
Make sure it's not going to be overly big threats. I'm going to just keep them at an arm's distance if possible. So overall, what I'm seeing here is this is just going to be a fairly standard match. Just exercising caution. I want to stay ideally around 16 to 17 kilometers from the opponent until I can start pushing it. As you can see, the firing angles are very, very good. Like having 28 degrees forward firing is fantastic. So that's a bonus. Another bonus is, of course, there's some carriers in this match. Ooh, shore's already detected. That's very interesting. Let's turn out. So I'm going to just shoot that. As you can see, the shell travel time is very quick. Unfortunately, again, versus like 2 overpens, and I actually penetrated on my last shot. I'm going to slow down now. I'm going to turn into bleeding slots at that thing. There. So it looks like we got some company. One shot at the Minnesota. We did actually shoot it. I feel bladed, honestly. So that looks to be the enemy submarine. One
spotted an enemy submarine.
So I'm actually going to take this opportunity to DCP because he's now turning away. And once again, I want to demonstrate the ninja power. I've got 2 direct hits. Well, 2 splash hits and 1 direct. Well, 1 splash hit, 1 direct hit. I wasn't reading.
Torpedoes, direct front. Problem solved, sir.
I'm going to take another shot at Soda. I don't want to shoot at that. I can't shoot at the shore, see that's at my range again. You're seeing the weakness of that limited range on this ship. Now, unfortunately, it's a good thing, so I'm going to have to completely turn away. Now I've been double pinged, which is really unfortunate. So I have to hope that I can full turn away. Unfortunately, you can't seem to defeat a double ping because it will curve regardless, which really sucks. So I end up eating 53,000. All that damage for basically no gain, which really sucks because I didn't want to. But that's the submarine experience for you, I suppose. Unfortunately, looks like it's just tracking. The submarine is just tracking me, which really sucks. I hate it. This is like by far the least enjoyable part of warships. As you can quite clearly see, I'm not having fun. But it looks like the submarine's tracked onto another target, so that's good for me. And now I'm going to worry about that, even though I probably shouldn't have. 4 penetrations. And torpedoes are starting to curve. So again, you know, so it's not the best at dealing with submarines, but it can work. So now we're going to take the target on this guy. I'm going to wait for him to... It looks like he's going to turn and slow down. So I'm going to aim that a little bit low. I'm going to anticipate this turn in like that. And you can see, again, you can see the 6-gun syndrome really showing itself there with the with what kind of issues it's got. You know, with that, you know, fast shells. Well, I don't think it's the fast shells that are issue, it's just 6-gun syndrome, but it's manageable, not looking awful. So I actually predicted my shuttle better, and I unfortunately get an overpen and a pounce this time. It's very interesting. So you can sort of see the Sun Yat-Sen's shortcomings here. They're not overly big shortcomings, but definitely noticeable issues. Just having that 6-gun is an issue.
The ship is on fire.
So, yeah. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate towards the middle because I see if there's a Strong Horse and a Johann to bit there. And my goal is I want to also be able to catch this Massachusetts as he's coming backwards. Not exactly what the sun's traveling, so I'm going to predictably hit that. I don't know if that guy, Mr. Rotator... Oh, no, he went the other direction. That's very interesting. I guess he saw that. That sucks. I did hit him, though. That's for 1,300 damage. That's good. And that submarine is basically going to be going down now. As soon as the California launches another set of depth charges.
Awaiting instructions.
So I'm literally just going to rotate at this point. Hopefully I'm going to be able to catch this Massachusetts. California basically just needs to slap that salmon with the depth charges, and that'll be game over for him.
All stations reporting the position of a strategic target.
Not entirely sure what's going on now, because now that submarine's basically just gone away for free. I'm going to see if we can get into he's going to surface, and then I'll be able to punch him in the throat. So there's the Johann de Witt. I'm going to keep the island between me and the Massachusetts so I don't take too much heat, and I'm just going to start pummeling this guy. Slow down, so I'm going to anticipate that slowdown, and I'm going to aim a little bit short. But unfortunately, it looks like he slowed down all the way. Okay. Which really sucks. So that's a thing. Now we're going to turn away fully, and we're going to commit to defending this flank. Because the Massachusetts is to my north, I do not want to get hit by him too hard, so I'm going to just be careful. And 3 overpins did 8,100 damage. That's very interesting. I thought it would be more. Well, less, actually. airstrikes coming in. Fortunately, his airstrike won't do too much damage to me because airstrikes, they don't have enough penetration. It's only 36 on 10, and I shot down some of them. In fact, they do basically no damage, so that's very useful for me. So he's basically finished. So now what I have to worry about again is that Massachusetts. So I'm actually going to commit back in a little bit, and I'm going to take shots on the Mass. And again, you can see the benefits of having this fast reload. Her reload is, with main battery modification, is only 23 seconds. That works really well to my favor. I don't know how much damage I did there, it didn't flash. But again, having this fast reload is beneficial, because it lets me take more shots, comparatively speaking, to other battleships.
Concentrate fire on the
I'm not really sure what that is. Is he going to accelerate? Yes, he's going to accelerate slowly. Caught him on the islands. Oh, no, it's slightly high. That's very interesting. Zara's there. Okay, both Akatsuki and Lo Yang are spotted. That's very useful for me. So I'm going to start shooting these two. I'm going to take a shot at the Akatsuki because he's getting the target. I should have honestly just shot the... I really should have just shot the Zara because he went undetected temporarily. But I think the Lo Yang's basically dead there. Nice. I'm going to see if I can finish off that Zara, if possible. I think only one penetration will do it, but unfortunately it looks like he slowed down all the way, so I missed completely. Which sucks. Now I have a sharp horse in my mouth, so that's fun. That looks like our torpedoes. So again, you can kind of see the problem with that, you know, it's a fairly typical 6-gun dispersion you would see on like a what is this, like Eisenhower, Georgia. And while my aim is not spectacular either, so that is all obviously another problem. Oh, looks like I could schmuck it back. That's interesting. Okay, looks like I could popped up a couple more stuff off before himself. Let's see if we can finish this guy off. And we do. Very nice. So he torqued there. Akatsuki unfortunately gets on mono, but looks like we are up ships now, so I can push in. And you can sort of start to see the benefits of the tankiness that Sun Yat-Sen brings to the table. Unfortunately, it wasn't huge, which really is unfortunate. With DCP that early, but, whole lot of damage. And there's our friends. There we go. One did the job. Get into him into the torpedo. Now I'm going to just turn all the way in. Because now there's 3 ships left, I can now make a full push. Looks like A-Hull is going to slow down all the way, but I anticipated that slowdown. And I only get one over, which is really unfortunate. So again, you can sort of see the problem with Sun Yat-Sen is that it doesn't have the best dispersion in the world, especially against, you know, if you don't aim correctly. I would say that you're going to end up against 6-gun dispersion. Look where the shells went, right? Like, I get that he was reversing, but again, you can sort of see how dispersion kind of works against you a good amount of the time. But when the dispersion does work with you, it can be quite good. Especially there, where I somehow break his turret. I don't know how I was able to get a shot so precise to break his turret, but that's very impressive, nonetheless. So he's going to heal up. Unfortunately, he made a mistake because he's trying to back up behind the island, and that's going to get almost killed. I needed one extra hit that would have done the job. That sucks. There's a Surrey. So Shimonto's very close. I can anticipate he's going to be running this way, or he's probably right where the Massachusetts is. He doesn't have a lot of options to go, so I'm going to see if I can take advantage of that. Massachusetts has been caught flat broadside. Me. See if I can kill him here. And there's where the dispersion's good. Unfortunately, I only get... I don't get any citadels, which is really unfortunate. We're now up to 106k, and kill. It's good. Let's see if I can finish him here. And there's the Shimonto. Unfortunately, it looks like the Kansas has been caught with his pants down, doesn't have a reload ready, and he's going to get torpedoed. Yeah, so there we go. But, should be able to catch him. Should be able to get the Shimonto, because he did shoot, so... Oh, 1 over 10. Unlucky. I'm just going to start hitting him early. Wow. That's not the first time I've seen that.
Our victory is in sight.
So in this game, you can kind of see the strengths and the weaknesses of the Sun Yat-Sen. Relatively good tankiness, good HE resistance. More importantly, you saw that against the Surrey and the Shimonto. Unfortunately, as you can see, relatively poor dispersion. I don't even know if I'm killing him. It might. Now I let the citadel. Wow.
Enemy cruiser destroyed.
So, yeah. That's 1800 base. We did 108,000 damage, 110,000 actually, 106k tanks. That was quite good. Unfortunately, the submarine kind of ruined it for us, which really sucks. So I didn't really get too much damage to deal. It did spread damage well across most targets, so that was okay. So we'll play another battle. Hopefully, we'll get another bottom tier match this time, or a tier 8, 9, 10 match, so I can demonstrate to you guys how it works against other ships. So just to continue off of what I was saying earlier, how I've been kind of sick. Kind of sick. I've been really sick. Sore throat, I've had a cold. I've just not been feeling well at all. So anyways, we got another match. This is another top tier match, very interesting. But this time we've got carriers, so this should make things relatively interesting. So take a look at the matchmaking. I'm the only battleship on the flank, so I'm going to have to anchor it. We got 5 battleships, 4 cruisers, 2 destroyers, and a carrier. Unfortunately, both their destroyers are top tier, and one of them is a Venom. That's a very big torpedo threat that I need to assess. So I'm going to have to be very careful about that.
Battle starts.
So the way I'm reading this is, because I'm top tier, I can sort of be more of a bully, but they do have a Georgia, so if he rushes me down, I'm going to basically get smashed wide open, because he's just going to run me down, and I won't do anything about it. They do have a Lexington, which is also a threat to me. His bombs cannot penetrate my deck, but his torpedoes I cannot exactly work that well against without being caught vulnerable. So I have to hope he's not very good, just to avoid getting completely smashed. Only 2 destroyers is beneficial to me. I can push it a little more aggressively. So my goal is basically just to go a little bit wider than I would normally, and then push on that if possible. So it looks like we have the Fletcher here, so that's good for me. That means the Venom is most likely going to be around there. So it's less of a torpedo threat that I have to worry about, and hopefully my Fletcher will be capable of taking him on. There we is. So I'm going to take a speculative shot at him, see if I can get some ship in on him. And you can kind of see the dispersion is, again, not that great. Unfortunately, we missed, so that kind of sucks. So it looks like Georgia is now not going to start pushing in, so this is where I'm going to sort of take an anchor up position. I'm actually going to anchor bow in against this guy. Because he doesn't overmatch me, so I'm going to, so I can take a better position. So is he going to rotate all the way? I'll just shoot since it's doing well. And again, you can sort of, again, you see the benefits of the fast shell travel time. Unfortunately, the dispersion looks to be suboptimal, and we only get 2 over penetrations on that. The armor, though, good as usual. Really anything. It looks like he's going to angle away completely. It looks like the Fletcher's heading towards C, so I can sort of start pushing up a little bit more. Unfortunately, they do have the line rotating this way, which is really unfortunate. Just gonna wait and see. I did not take nearly enough lead on that. That's really unfortunate. Because now he's just going to turn away completely, and I only get 1 penetration again. He said now he's just completely away, because now he knows I'm a credible threat. Is Kitakaza gonna live? I really hope he manages to take the cap. That would be really useful for our team. Line. So now I know that I can anchor here reliably. 1 penetration. Oh, that's an AP line. Very interesting. I haven't seen one of those in a while. So unfortunately, it looks like we've lost our Kitakaze early. Which sucks. But again, you can see that benefit of having that ultra fast, relatively not ultra fast, but very fast reload. The fact that I can start delivering the hurt on these battleships quicker and more efficiently. But unfortunately, it looks like both the battleships are cutting away, so it's kind of disadvantageous to me because now both of them are in a defensive position. That means I will be able to have the same kind of effect. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start rotating towards the middle, while also keeping these 2, because the Fletcher's now keeping both of them at an arm's distance. What that means is now I can sort of just draw a path through, around FG, and I'll be able to get 3 broadsides on these guys here, because now it looks like even the Fletcher's running for his life. But you're also going to see that this is where the speed of the ship really impacts it. If this was something like Iowa, I would be able to rotate a little faster. Unfortunately, this is really sluggish, so that's going to be a no. So it looks like they put a lot of ships. A lot of them went towards the decap, which is really bad for them, because now they have a Duncan to their south. They got the Colorado and Florida to the west.
May I ask you something? Notice out of nowhere, lifting your first pet in the street.
Sorry, that was my roommate. Unfortunately, it looks like Maritz is dead. He's only. Maritz is dead. That's unfortunate. Looks like our goal is our Colorado. So now I really have to get a move on. Now let's see if I can punch that Howlin' on the throats. It looks good. Yep, that was 6 out of 6. Unfortunately, 4 over penetrations. So I should be able to kill the Howlin' on this next shot. That should be good. You see I really rushed that shot, but because the range I can sort of afford to. 2 over penetrations again. So, yeah. I mean, again, I just have really bad aim in general, which really is not good. It looks like we're starting to clump back. Looks like Georgia got murked by the Fletchers, so that's good. So, that means my rotation is not all for naught. So now we actually do have a chance of pulling it back a little bit. And you catch sight of that more. That would be very useful. And George looks like the Fletcher's spotting me now. Line is off the screen. Like, I don't know why that line's so far back. That Fletcher needs to start circling back in. Cap looks like, I think the Orleans is just going to end up going down. But now I have a bunch of free broadsides to work with. Which is really nice. Belfast 1943. They have 2 caps now. Now, unfortunately, turn back.
Torpedoes astern. Good luck.
That really sucks.
Well done, Commander.
So California, not exactly a fast target. That's also very squishy, very easy to hit. Very easy to deal with. High. Well, okay, I need to start aiming more with that mini-map, I think. Punch him really quickly.
Enemy cruiser detected. Enemy battleship detected. Enemy cruiser detected.
Take a little bit less lead, anticipating that he's going to slow down, and he's not. That's unfortunate, but I still get 2 over this. Okay. So you can kind of see this is a little bit frustrating. This is correction. This is very frustrating because now that I mean, more the fact that our team is like, actively being really bad. I can't really afford to push in because there's still a venom in play, and if I turn back in, I've got 5 ships shooting at me. So the best I can do is to deal with this King George in a relatively timely manner and hope he doesn't completely demolish me, which he might just do. Force looks like they're doing good. I'm still in a straight line. Caught my heel early. Looks like the venom is right on my ass.
Enemy battleship detected.
Yeah, that is in fact the venom. Not entirely sure how he got so close to get spotted by me, but that gives me solid indication of where he's going to be. So now I'm going to just let my secondaries deal with him, and I'm just going to keep focusing on this King George. Or actually, I don't want to do that. I'm going to shoot this venom really quickly. Because whatever damage he takes, he can't heal. That's 4 hits. So that's a lot he's not going to heal back, which is really bad for him. Now I'm being chased by, it looks like, 5 people. But, that's a but. A very big but. King George is still shooting a ship. That's not bad. And I somehow missed the bomb. That's really bad. Bounces. Focus on King George in front of me. Do like 1 billion damage to him. Looks like they're starting to throw actively, which is useful for me. That's double perfect fire instead. Very nice. Okay. Let's overtake. With a very awkwardly out of position Sorrow. Looks like I'm being chased by the bottom. Well, I might be. I know he's not going to be able to pen me at all, so I'm just going to start turning back in. Well, plus it's damage. I'm just going to start rattling this guy's bones. But if I can get more than one hit, that would be useful. Damage. I still have 2 heals to work with, which is very useful. Unfortunately, this is California shit, so I need to get that. Fortunately, it's California, so it doesn't pen me. And he should be dead. No, he's not. Why does that go short? Oh. Okay, game. Whatever you say. Turn back in, that's a mistake. Now I'm just going to angle hard with these guys. Because I know that's going to kill him. Yep. Valkyrie the dispersion. If it works, it works. It is very useful, very helpful. Looks like these guys, well, they're going to kill the New Orleans. That's a given. Gonna kill Belfast 43 before he can get away. I don't think he will be able to. I'll be able to kill him before he gets away, but I can try. Nah, he didn't get away. That's unfortunate. But they still have a line. Okay. Whatever you say. I have 1 heal left. Unfortunately, again, I'm playing with only 8. That didn't get any hits either. So, I have an option here. What I can do is go dark. Looks like we lost our character. That's really unfortunate. What I can do, though, is go dark, because there's nothing here. And I can turn away. I can engage the line, take D, engage the line, and then turn back into B. I think that's the play here. Because both my teammates are really low. Both characters are dead.
You are the last hope.
See, I'm going to have to kill this line. On up.
The enemy team has taken the lead.
GG kills the Belfast. That's very nice. Okay. Well, this game might still be under control. If I can kill this line. I don't think I can, though, is the problem. Unless this guy's just firing AP. Brain use for me. Because I can just nice fucking shoot. That's nice. Nice to know. Please do something. What is going on? Game, come on. I'm on. I don't even know if I can win this, because there's still a Venom in play. Venom is just going to be able to kill me, and I won't be able to do anything. I'm on the line. And now my dispersion is going black. Yeah, no Citadels. I don't even know what's going on. I'm so confused. Overpower. Yeah, I baited him to shooting AP at me, so now slow down. And he does like damage. Does that kill him? I hope that kills him, please. No, it does not. He's just gonna kill you back. Does he? He might. I don't know. So, that's a bonus. Zero damage. Cool. I got 2 tier 7 Battleships to kill, and one of them is shooting HG, and the other is shooting SAP. And unfortunately, the SAP shooting Battleship is going to be the one that really kills me here, because he's shooting SAP. Also, he turns flat broadside. Oh, he's shooting AP. Okay, that's interesting. Damage, because W. It's a high caliber. Well, W2. Unfortunately, that thing's really maneuverable, so. goes by. If I can pound this guy this mission, that'd be great. Oh, never mind. That's GG. Ah, that sucks. Well, okay. So that's the second game. 175,000 damage. Top of the team. Venom played really well. I made a lot of mistakes like there, but you know I think that kind of shows off reasonably well. You know what Sun Yat-Sen can do with a 14-point captain. You can sort of determine how it's going to be with a 21-point captain. Anyways, so my overall take on the Sun Yat-Sen is it's relative 6.5. I think she's got great potential. She's got overmatch, she's got fast reload. Unfortunately, she's a bit clumsy. Also eats a lot of unnecessary damage if you misplay. Guns are the biggest issue, though. She does not have the most reliable guns in the world, and she certainly does not have, you know, again, you saw with the dispersion on that line, it's not great. But is it usable? I think so. It's definitely a very usable battleship. Anyways, that's all from me. For you guys, I will talk a little bit more, but my throat's starting to get a bit sore. I will see you guys later. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I will see you all next time.